Episode 6 of Cape Fear is one of the biggest turning points in the series so far. While previous episodes focused on Max Cady slowly inserting himself into the Bowdens' lives, this episode shows what happens after that plan succeeds. Max now lives directly across the street, and his influence reaches into almost every part of the family's lives. Everyone is beginning to question each other, and even simple conversations are filled with suspicion. The strongest theme in Episode 6 is control. After Max moves across the street, the Bowdens immediately respond by installing more cameras, tracking their children's phones, and creating strict rules for the house. On paper, these decisions make sense. They're trying to protect their family. However, the episode slowly shows that these measures are doing just as much harm as good. Natalie immediately compares the new rules to being imprisoned, showing that fear has already changed the way the family lives. This is one of the episode's biggest ideas. Fear often convinces people to give up their own freedom in exchange for safety. The Bowdens are trying to keep danger outside the house, but in doing so, they create a home where nobody trusts each other anymore. Every movement is monitored. Every conversation feels suspicious, and every family member begins wondering what the others might be hiding. Max barely needs to do anything because the Bowdens are already creating the prison themselves. The prison flashbacks reveal another important conflict within Max's character. After surviving the brutal attack, another inmate tells him that rage can't sustain him forever and encourages him to embrace a new religion instead. At first, it appears that Max genuinely accepts this advice. During his initiation, he experiences visions of his wife and unborn son, suggesting that he has finally found peace. However, the ending of the episode completely changes how we understand those scenes. The final flashback reveals that the inmate who introduced Max to this religion was secretly responsible for setting up the prison attack in the first place. Rather than accepting this betrayal as another test of faith, Max murders him. More importantly, he twists the religion's teachings to justify his own actions. When the dying man tells him this isn't what the gods wanted, Max confidently replies that they will be pleased because he'll give them a family. This moment explains something fundamental about Max. He doesn't truly follow the religion. Instead, he reshapes it to support whatever he already wants to do. His faith becomes another way of justifying revenge rather than replacing it. The episode suggests that belief itself isn't dangerous. The danger comes when someone begins treating their own desires as if they're sacred. Family has always been important to Cape Fear, but Episode 6 reveals just how central that idea is to Max's motivation. When the Bowdens confront him in his house, Max speaks about reopening his restaurant and naming it after his wife and son. He also reveals that his wife's eggs were preserved before her death and explains that he still dreams of creating the family he lost. At first, this sounds surprisingly reasonable. Then the conversation becomes deeply unsettling when he suggests that Anna should become the surrogate for his children. Even after claiming it's a joke, the comment leaves the room completely silent because everyone understands that Max's obsession with family has crossed into something unhealthy. Max no longer views family as something that grows naturally. He treats it as something that can be rebuilt through control, manipulation, and even revenge. Rather than accepting his loss, he's trying to recreate the past exactly as he wants it. This contrasts with the Bowdens, whose own family is slowly falling apart, despite still being together. The series presents two very different ideas of family. One is physically present but emotionally fractured. The other exists only in memory, yet completely controls Max's life. One of the most memorable sequences in the episode occurs when the entire family unknowingly drinks tea mixed with LSD. While the scene initially appears chaotic, it serves an important symbolic purpose. Normally, each member of the Bowden family hides behind carefully controlled conversations. They avoid discussing difficult subjects, keep secrets from one another, and carefully choose what they reveal. The drug removes those barriers. Suddenly, everyone begins asking the questions they have been avoiding for weeks. Natalie confronts her parents about Max. She questions Zack's behavior. Anna begins admitting that her entire life has been an attempt to overcorrect for something in her past. Tom is forced to reveal that the drugs belonged to him in the first place. The hallucinations themselves are almost secondary. What matters is that the drugs expose emotions that were already there. The tea doesn't create the family's problems. It simply removes their ability to hide them. During the family's drug-induced argument, a drone suddenly flies into the house. For a moment, nobody knows whether it's real or part of the hallucination. This uncertainty reflects the current state of the Bowdens. They have reached a point where they can no longer separate genuine threats from imagined ones. Max's psychological pressure has made them question everything they see. The drone also represents constant surveillance. Earlier in the episode, the Bowdens install cameras throughout their property to feel safer. Later, someone invades their home using another camera. The symbolism is clear. Technology can't guarantee security. In fact, it often creates new ways for people to invade one another's privacy. One of the biggest developments in episode 6 comes near the end, when Anna finally admits that she shared an emotional connection with Max before his wife died. This confession changes how we understand both characters. Until now, Anna has insisted that her relationship with Max was entirely professional. Her confession suggests that things were more complicated than she wanted to admit. She compares it to Tom's emotional connection with Lexi, implying that while no physical relationship occurred, there was still an intimacy she has spent years trying to ignore. The confession also explains why Max seems so determined to receive a genuine apology instead of money or legal compensation. When Max tells Anna that he wants her to describe exactly what she did wrong, he's asking for something deeper than an admission of legal responsibility. He wants emotional accountability. Whether his version of events is entirely truthful remains uncertain, but the conversation shows that the conflict between them has always been deeply personal. The final sequence introduces one of the episode's strongest symbols when Tom discovers a hidden space inside the walls of the Bowden house. The revelation that Nevaeh has been living there makes the symbolism even stronger. She has not simply been observing the family from a distance. She has been living inside their private world, hearing conversations, learning routines, and watching them slowly fall apart. The walls become a physical representation of the show's central message. Hidden truths are always closer than people think. Episode 6 also raises serious questions about Zack's role in the story. By the end of the episode, Tom realizes that Zack likely started the fire, spiked the tea, and may have been secretly communicating with Nevaeh for much longer than anyone realized. Whether Zack is acting willingly or under someone else's influence remains unclear. However, the episode suggests that his emotional instability has reached a dangerous point. His overwhelming guilt, his isolation, and his desperate need for acceptance have made him increasingly vulnerable throughout the season. Now those weaknesses appear to have been exploited. The tragedy is that Zack desperately wanted forgiveness, but instead he has become even more disconnected from his own family. Episode 6 shows how fear slowly tears the Bowden family apart. Their attempts to protect themselves through surveillance, strict rules, and confrontation only create more distrust, while Max remains driven by his obsession with rebuilding the family he lost. The shocking reveal that Nevaeh has been secretly living inside the Bowdens' home reinforces one of Cape Fear's central ideas. The greatest threats are often much closer than we realize. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.